Now the question is, what's happening with women today in the real world, 45 years after I sat at the council table with Ruth? Let's review some statistics that I found recently in the Los Angeles Times and the New York Times headline stories that the still sorry state of women's inequality still continues to exist. A USC study on the film industry using sophisticated software showed that 4,000 men versus 2,000 women were doing the on-screen talking in films. There were 7 times as many male screenwriters and 12 times as many male directors. As for casting directors, there were twice as many men. These statistics should not be surprising in an industry where 80% of the top executives at film studios are male. Sexual harassment and even rape has been in the headlines for months. Many of the charges are against men like Harvey Weinstein, Charlie Rose, Les Moonves, and of course Bill Cosby. And there are more just in the entertainment industry. These charges have spawned the Me Too and Time's Up movements. And needless to say, the Brett Kavanaugh situation is a direct result of one woman and then more women and more women feeling empowered enough to speak the truth after 35 years. You know, in a way, I'm sorry I had to drag you all, we had to drag you all away from your television sets, because this is one of those days in history, and I have no idea how we're going to see it. I mean, I was thinking of TiVoing, but all day, every channel. I don't know. It's so obvious what's going on in Washington right now that I'm not going to belabor the point. I just want you to know that it's a learning lesson, and I think it is something we should talk to our children and grandchildren about. In fact, I now have 2 cases referred by Time's Up, that spawned by Me Too and Time's Up, that involve women who have been sexually harassed working for the Marine Corps, as well as sex discrimination cases for women dock workers, stunt women, and Teamsters. My own awakening about workplace harassment hit hard one day in 1982, shortly after I arrived at the William Morris Agency for a new job. The only woman in the television department came into my office, shut the door, and told me that she had been raped by the top-earning male TV executive. After reporting this to the president, she told me that he, the president, offered her a cruise around the world to buy her silence. She agreed to the offer. Then a few years later, when I left William Morris to develop and produce a big-budget movie, Navy SEALs, that I had dreamed up with a SEAL friend, as we readied for actual production, the director announced to me that if I went on location, he would quit. That would be the end of the movie. Why would he quit? Because I'm a woman. Simple fact. Sexual harassment and sex discrimination are by no means confined to the entertainment world. Women are 50.3% of current law school graduates, yet they make up just 35% of partners in law firms. Their share of equity partnerships remains at 20%. That has not changed at all in recent years, and only 32% of law school deans are women. Women in tech under 25 years of age earn 29% less than their male counterparts. Women hold 11% of executive positions in Silicon Valley companies and own only 5% of tech startups. Somebody was talking about starting a company. Absolutely. Please. Google's overall workforce is 69% male. Tech staff is 80% male. Corporate leadership is 75% male at Google. There are 25 women CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. In 2016, of 132 companies and 34,000 employees, women who negotiated for promotion were 30% more likely than men to be labeled intimidating, bossy, or aggressive. City councils, women are not doing well at all. In New York City, 13 of 51 are women. In Chicago, 13 of 50. In Houston, 4 of 16. In Philadelphia, 6 of 17. And Los Angeles, 2 of 15. National parks. Taking a look at national parks under the aegis of the federal government, only 9 national park sites are dedicated to women's history out of 411. Less than 8% of publicly viewed statues are women, 8% women. And finally, the world of science. 2 noted female scientists, Drs. Jones and Lundblad at the Salk Institute, founded by polio vaccine pioneer Jonas Salk, filed suit last year saying it's an old boys club, a, quote, culture where women are paid less and not promoted and are denied opportunities. Those two lawsuits were just settled, but a lawsuit brought by another woman, also a full professor whose science has been widely lauded, is on track to go to trial. Meanwhile, internal documents that were leaked to the magazine Science expose long-standing gender tensions at the Institute. Veteran scientist Inder Verma was accused of actively impeding women's advancement there. And now we learn that 8 women made sexual harassment allegations against Verma, who has since resigned from Salk. In June, I noticed a headline in San Diego's Union Tribune that read, "Sexual harassment in academic science, engineering, medicine needs system-wide change." The article was backed up by detailed research and a report from the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine. Predictably, problems women have in the world of science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, which everybody having to do with girls knows we care about. A study by the Department of Commerce revealed that while women make up half of the college-educated workforce, they are only 25% of the STEM workforce. However, there is hope. And I am going to start showing you some slides. If I have my clicker here someplace. I do have it. I got these pictures, these images from the Getty Images, and they did this incredible book called Why I Marched that came out right after the January 21st, 2017 march. I want to show you a couple of places that are just overflowing with people that you can see. This is obviously Washington. There are a couple of others with people that have all kinds of posters. I'm going to read some of them off in a minute to you. Here you will see more posters. I love the "If I Make My Uterus a Corporation, Will You All Stop Regulating It?" If there's anybody here over 65, I mean. So I'm going to try to do this in a coordinated way. You can see that we're still just somewhere, all over, everywhere, but pretty soon we're going to have some places that we're going to be able to see. I like this very much. I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. Okay, so let's see if I can figure out a way to do two things at exactly the same time. I'm going to talk about where everybody was. We marched from Alaska to Antarctica, from Austria to Ghana, and I'm showing you pictures in a minute, from Kosovo to New Zealand, from India to Israel, from Poland to Macau. And the signs were wonderful. And if you can do two things at once, you'll see what I'm talking about. These are cities from all over the world. New York, obviously, is I believe New York had 750,000, as did Los Angeles. You'll see people everywhere. And this was that one day, and you will also see climates different because of what was going on. You see Denver, you see San Jose, Helena, Montana, Fight Like a Girl Somewhere, Seattle, Equality for All, and I like that one a lot. I am going to show you some places that you might not have known. These are Native Americans. And now we have Boise with its weather. There's Manhattan with the bridge, with Pussy Power up there on the top. And now I'm going to start reading, and you'll see, okay? So I'm going to read, and maybe I'll click at the same time. The signs were wonderful. The signs say, my dignity is not up for grabs, and neither are we. To, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. From strong women unite to my body, not yours. To sexual assault is not locker room talk. From I lived in the 50s, I don't want to go back. True. To the future is female rise up. To babies for paid family leave. To grandma didn't cross the border so I could be grabbed. From I am queer, I will not disappear. To real men are feminists. To build bridges, not walls. To power to the peaceful. To girls just want to have fundamental rights. From Make America Kind Again to There Is No Planet B, from My America Welcomes Refugees to As a Woman, My Country is the World, from Make Facts Great Again to If You're Not Outraged, You're Not Paying Attention, and Penguins for Peace. I'm going to catch us up with these pictures, which I love, and you can just read where they are from everywhere. It's a little hard for me to see. Oh, it's up there. Good, okay. Lots from New York. And people that went out in the most horrible weather for this. It's just amazing to me, and I love it. And now we're going to see around the world. Amsterdam, London, there he is in New York again. Chicago, Warsaw, Poland, Berlin. We got Make Facts Great Again. Lima, Peru. Women's rights are human rights. And she, I think, is in New Zealand. Nairobi, Kenya. I mean, you believe people all over the world got together for this march. It's just South Africa. This is, okay. And Cape Town. Kenya. And we're back again. The sign, Women's March in 2017. No Planet B. London, Amsterdam, Barcelona, London, Dublin, Bulgaria, Paris, lots of people, Lisbon, Paris, Amsterdam, Manchester, England, Oslo, Paris. Paris played a big role in this. Paris, Krakow, bridges. Tel Aviv, Israel, Macau, Sydney. These people, and Antarctica are on a boat. And there we have the penguins. And finally, not finally, but the one that I put at the end, feminism backed by popular demand, which is exactly what seems to be happening. I just want to tell you that seeing those photos and reading the posters has caused me to reflect on what I think feminism really is.